What jumps out about Chandler Jones and their pass rush after that first game?
It's impressive to have 5 sacks in any game. What an effort, and it's not a surprise in the sense that he's been doing it for a long time. He's played a lot of football in this league and played at a really high level for a long time, and great player.
I guess about Tennessee plays offense, run to set up the play action pass. Do you expect similar things from what the Cardinals did in that game to try and stop you guys?
Hard to know. We'll see. It all comes down to what coaches decide, in the week as they watch film. I'm sure teams are always looking to give unscouted looks, and yet teams are always looking to do what they do well, and just every coach trying to find that balance.
And what's the difficulty with the Cardinals where they have Isaiah Simmons and they move Buda Baker and some of these linebackers and safeties around?
Yeah, they've got some good athletes, versatile players, and they like to have them play in a few different roles and give them different responsibilities, and I think that can certainly be something you have to prepare for.
What did the film review kind of reveal to you about why there were struggles in the first half on Sunday?
I think it was similar to things we talked about after the game on Sunday. Penalties jumped out right away. The long yardage situations were tough, and you always want to protect the football, and so that some of those things.
Zim said he didn't see any of those penalties, that wasn't a common theme during the preseason stuff with the offensive line. Can you attribute it to anything specific? Was it crowd noise? Was it?
I really can't. Don't have the specific reason for maybe one penalty here or there, but not for a consistent reason.
As far as the communication with the line and up front, he said earlier that was something he wants to see improved upon. What does that look like when you go from week to week and trying to make this jump from what you saw in week 1 to week 2? Is that you and Garrett? Maybe is that a specific side sessions? How does that work?
It starts on Monday, into Wednesday. Right now, I just came from a protection walkthrough that you have every week. So it's just going through the paces, that process through the week of having meetings and communication and reps, full speed reps, walkthrough reps, and then being able to adjust to unscouted looks.
What's your rapport like with Garrett? 33 games now into his career. How has he made strides, or where do you want to see him make strides?
Yeah, I think it's been encouraging to have consistency with a center. That was something that I had lacked in my career prior to Garrett, and so it's been a great thing to have so much time with him. He's done a great job.
Kirk, certainly there can be overreactions to a week 1 result. Do you think it's your job to project calm after a loss, or to sort of project urgency that we got to right the ship?
You never get too high or too low. So if that's calm, then certainly you project calm. You just stay the course. You're the same person in terms of your habits, the way you prepare, the way you get ready for Sunday. And there's really always urgency. I've never felt, after a loss that you need to change, because I would then look and say, well, what were you doing the previous week? You need to be getting ready every week. So I think consistency is really key in this league, and whatever works for you and has gotten you to have success consistently, then keep doing that, and that's really my approach.
Are you surprised that everybody in the division lost?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you surprised that everybody in the division lost?
Yeah, I don't know how many times it's happened in the last few years since I've been in the North. It doesn't happen often.
Kirk, obviously a lot of different ways to play your position, but when you're watching the game and you watch Kyler Murray, what does your trained eye see whenever you see him, how he plays that position?
He's tough to bring down. He's a great player. The play's never over as long as he's still got the ball in his hands and he's upright. And he's shown that even going back to his college days, and he's just continued here in the pros.
Kirk, what does a game, KJ Osborne had a pretty good game on Sunday, what does a game like that do for him as a young receiver, and coming up with a big catch on a critical 4th down? How much trust does that instill with you and him and the chemistry between you two?
Yes, and he's really built that foundation starting in April. He's really built up a lot of confidence in the coaches in him and me in him, and that reflected itself on Sunday with the targets and the big plays he made. And it's really scratching the surface in terms of what I hope he's able to do this season.
You gave us the scouting report on Kyler Murray. With what you saw on tape, can you scout Justin Jefferson as a passer?
Great job. They covered Adam, and KJ was open, and it took him a second to kind of get his grip on the ball. and did a nice job, and KJ did a nice job throttling at the sidelines and holding on and keeping his feet in bounds, but we sat down on the bench next to each other, and I said, hey, nice throw on that crossing route. And he said, I'm 1 for 1 in my career. I said, that's a good start. He said, yeah, perfect passer rating. I said, I don't know about that, but I'm sure if we keep doing it, you know. So that was awesome. He's got some athleticism. It doesn't just end up being a receiver.
Kubiak was obviously limited in the whole, you talked about it Sunday with the play sheet being shrunken by the 3rd and longs and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've got a sense for how it'll work with him as a play caller and how in sync you are with him?
Absolutely. You know, we're very much on the same page. I do think all the time we spent together over the last 2 years has really laid a great foundation. And you know, I felt that in the game on Sunday in terms of just him getting the play into me and then me communicating what he wanted to the offense, whether it's, you know, obviously in the drive or even on the sideline. And so, you know, from that standpoint, you know, very much consistent with what the last 2 years have been. And you know, we just gotta build on where we started.
Kirk passing game had success Sunday, but not a lot in terms of deep shots. Was that something that the defense was maybe taking away, and would you like to push it downfield more moving forward?
We always want to be an explosive offense, so we're always going to look for opportunities to do that, certainly. I think when you get in longer yardage, you know, your defense is going to be smart and play the sticks, wherever those are, and keep things in front of them. And whether it's a you know, 2-minute drill with little time left, sometimes teams know that they can kind of back up, and if you're in long yardage, you can back up. And so, you know, they kind of kept things in front of them for the most part, and so it would have been probably a lot of long foul balls or you know, tight looks if we had tried to go down the field in many of the plays.
What's the balance between both you and Garrett in identifying the fronts? Like, is it, I know it's a shared responsibility, like you're both calling it out at the same time, how does that work?
Well, I told Garrett going back to his rookie year, I said, you know, the ball's in my hand, so if I need to trump you, I'm going to trump you. But I said, you've got it, you know, so he's gonna call it. And if something doesn't feel right to me, I'll let him know. But you know, it's really communication across the way, because the tight end has to know tackle, guard. You know, so we all have to be on the same page. The center, many times in a loud environment, will communicate the signal or the call, but the tackle may not even hear him. Certainly the tight end may not. So everybody has to be on the same page all the way down the line. And that's where the preparation all week is so important.
How do you know if like the tackle can't hear him? I mean, obviously the play would result in maybe blocking the wrong guy, but is that for you to scream over to the tackle, like when you're making your calls at the line? How does that work?
He would just say, I can't hear you, you know, or to the guard, what did he say? And if you know, we all have to be on the same page, because if the guard doesn't know where we're going, he can't help the tackle, and the tackle can't help the tight end. So while it's one thing to make the call, we all have to really know the call inherently, because when I'm 5 yards back in the shotgun, I'm certainly not hearing his call. I know what he's about to call, and he knows, and so that's why we all study it to all really be able to make the call. It's just the center, you know, traditionally is the guy who's going to actually be the one to do it.
When you talk about trumping him or overruling him, how often do you find yourself doing
Not
that
much.
this way?
Not much. More in just a really unique look where it's you know, kind of a one-time thing.
Kirk, you talk about being explosive. Just as from your position, how do you balance being safe with the ball, but also sometimes just taking a shot downfield and throwing it up and seeing if Justin or Adam can make a play?
Well, you know, when you hold the football, you got a lot of people who put their trust in you, and so you need to be discerning. And you know, there is no science to it in the sense that you play a long time and you learn. You learn when to do it, when not to, and that's part of where reps and playing quarterback for a long time teach you what you can get away with, what you can't, and you know, that's kind of the journey that I've been on for 15 years now, going back to early in college. All right, thanks guys.